Howdy everybody, my name is Cooter Pickleberry. This is Florida Man Cooking. Today we're going to make some beef stew. One of my favorite things, man. When it gets cold outside, I always like to make some of this stuff. And it's good for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's just good stuff. Welcome aboard. Well, there it is, the finished product. Looking pretty darn good if you ask me. Tastes great too, smells great. The whole house smells good when you cook it. So real quick prep before we get started. We'll take an onion, we'll dice it up. Didn't use the whole thing because it was a giant onion, but I probably used 3/4 of it. We got about 4 carrots. They weren't the biggest carrots. We just diced those up into a good sized hunk. 3 or 4 stalks of celery. Slice those up. Got a few mushrooms. Cut those into big chunks. And a little bit of thyme and rosemary. Some Yukon Gold potatoes. And the meat. The meat's mostly leftover vacuum sealed beef tenderloin from Christmas and Thanksgiving dinner. And you butcher one of those up to make a chateaubriand or whatever you're going to do with it. You end up with a lot of little scrap meat. It's worth saving. It's really tender, absolutely delicious, great meat. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper to get it started. Actually, a lot of pepper because I'm kind of a pepper addict. And then we got a big bowl with some flour in it. And we're just going to make sure that every piece of meat gets a little bit of flour on it. So we'll add a little bit more as we get going. We just got to get it coated up here, so we're going to go through all that meat. That was about a little over 3 pounds, I guess. I didn't weigh it, but that's my guess, of scrap tenderloin, which is probably my favorite beef. That picanha. And we'll throw it in there, throw a little bit more flour on top, and just keep mixing that up. We just want to get a good coating of flour on every piece of meat. And that's how we do that. A little bit messy. That's all we got now is salt, pepper, and a little bit of flour. That's all that goes on until we sear it. So we're outside now. We got beef tallow. Usually with beef dishes, I try to use beef tallow instead of oil, but if you don't have beef tallow, that's fine, man. You can use, any high smoke point oil like grapeseed or avocado, whatever you got. Just something neutral. You don't want it to taste like oil. That's why the beef tallow works so good. It tastes like beef, which is, coincidentally what we're cooking. So we just melt that down a little bit. It's just sitting on an induction burner in a cast iron enamel covered Dutch oven. And we're going to sear all this meat. Now, if you pile all the meat in there at once, you're just going to steam it. And I actually want a little bit of sear. So we give it plenty of space so it can do its thing. Just kind of fry it in that oil. When we're done, you'll see there's a nice fond, a nice brown residue sticking on the bottom. Remember, color's flavor, so we want to get rid of all that and get that into the food. So we're just going to deglaze that with some onions and then later with some red wine. That'll pretty much get all of it out, that and a little bit of scraping. Take the meat out, set it aside. Turn the heat down to medium-high from high that I had on for searing. And I've got this little bamboo spatula type thing that does a really good job of scraping the bottom of this cast iron. So we'll throw the onions in, get those cooking. Celery and the carrots go in next, right on top. And we'll just let that sit for, a few minutes, 6 or 7. Once it's been 6 or 7 minutes and softened up a little bit, we're not cooking anything all the way through. We're just going 6 or 7 minutes to soften it up. And then we'll start sticking some garlic in there. And that only cooks for about 30 or 40 seconds, not 6 or 7 minutes. So just give that all a good stir. Just trying to soften it up a little bit, kind of like a par cooking it, and take that out and stick it in a bowl. You want to make sure there's still some grease in the bottom of that, or some oil or some tallow or whatever you got. Just something to lube it up. So we're going to stick a little bit more tallow in. By the way, I got that online on Amazon. It's really good stuff. And we'll stick the mushrooms in. Same thing. We're not cooking them all the way through. We're just going to soften them up, give them a little sear, add a little bit of color. And now the final deglazing, we're going to use the cactus jar full of red wine. You can use any cheap drinkable wine. Don't use the stuff that's old and vinegary because it'll make it taste funny. But Cabernet or Merlot or a Malbec or any of that kind of stuff, Pinot Noir, I don't know how you pronounce that. Anyway, it's good stuff. If you don't want to use wine, that's okay too. You could use grape juice, or you could just skip it all together and just use more beef stock. But this is about a cup of wine, and I think it adds a lot to the flavor profile. I think it's worth doing. And we'll just dump all that meat back in. Man, that looks good already. And it smells good too. That wine gives off a nice aroma as it cooks. And then throw in the veg. It's the carrots, the celery, the onions. Give it all a stir. Try to get kind of the flavors incorporating a little bit here. It's going to cook for a couple hours more, but it's kind of an important step to make sure that you get it all stirred in together. And then we'll throw the Yukon Golden Tater chunks on top. As far as the amount of liquid goes, I ended up using about 5 cups or so of beef stock and about a cup of wine. I also put a little bit of Worcestershire sauce in, just a little spritz here, kind of came across the top with it. That's all good flavors, man. So the beef stock, I didn't have any homemade stuff. I rarely do because I use it as soon as I make it, it seems like. But I just got the stuff out of the box. That box is 2 pounds and it equates to about 4 cups. It wasn't quite enough. The way you know how much you need is you want to just get those potatoes under some broth. So you want to get it, you know, almost to the top. And this kettle was pretty full because it used so much meat and so much potato. But it turned out great, so I must be doing something right. Kind of press those down a little bit to see how much more liquid we need to add. And it turns out we did need to add some, so I just happened to have another one in the pantry, and I went and grabbed that and used just a little bit of it. This is some thyme, fresh thyme that I pulled off, and a rosemary sprig that I shoved in there. And a little bit more beef stock, just enough to get the potatoes wet. Then I just put a cover on it, heat it up to a boil on the stove, give it a good stir, and then I take the cover off, stick it in the oven. That helps some of that liquid evaporate, but it concentrates the flavor, so it works really good. And I used a 350-degree temperature for about 2 hours, maybe just a little bit less than that. There's still some peas that are going to go in, but if you put the peas in now, they turn real mushy. And I'm not British, so I'm not a big fan of mushy peas. So I'll save those till the end. So it's been just shy of 2 hours now. I'll pull it out. And remembering that lid is scaldingly hot, so I actually did it right this time, didn't burn myself for a change. That looks great. The aroma is unbelievable. About a cup of peas, maybe a little bit more in. And then those are frozen, but it only takes a few minutes because that thing is so hot. It was cooking at 350, so those peas will cook in about 5 to 10 minutes. And still have a decent snap to them if you do it that way. So I just kind of tried to bury it a little bit into the liquids and underneath the hot stuff. There's that rosemary sprig. It's going to go out and feed the chickens. Oh, that looks good. And I'll just put the cover back on, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and it's ready to eat. All right, it's been a few minutes since I put the peas in. Let's have a look. Oh, that looks so good. It smells so good. Scoop a little bit out here. A little mushroom, got a little beef, got a little tater. Onions throughout. Oh, looks good. Because I'm a pepper freak, we're going to do a little of that. And then to cap it off, put just a little bit of parsley on it. Cut up parsley just for color and prettiness. Looks pretty good, man. All right, now the moment of truth. Let's give it a taste. It's a little bit hot. Oh. Just delicious. It was great on a cold winter night. Temperature's probably now right around Well, upper 50s, wind's blowing a little bit chilly. This is really good. So it's got, the meat is perfect. It's holding itself together, but it's tender. You can pull it apart if you wanted to. The potatoes are perfect. Everything in here is good. The gravy is just delicious. Right thickness. It took a lot of that starch from the potato that I put in, and it kind of thickened it up with that, plus a little bit of flour we had on the steak, on the beef before we started searing it. So the combination of those two things, we didn't have to use any cornstarch or anything else to thicken it up. It's just perfect. Oh, outstanding. I recommend using homemade bread with it. If you don't have that, like today I just didn't have time, so I ran out and bought a baguette. And, it's pretty good to dunk in. That's outstanding. So, cheers. Try this. Let me know what you think. I sure do appreciate you watching me. I'm having a lot of fun with this stuff, making some good food. It's a good time. Like and subscribe if you get a chance. Sure appreciate that. And I'd love to hear from you, mate. Thanks a lot. Have a great night. God bless.